thanks for coming on. I know you had like some weird issues with your pet snakes escaping and
Yeah,
threatening
so
your life.
it even better than that. Not only did it escape, literally 5 minutes ago, just before I came on live, we found her. She's under my cupboard, but there's like so in that cupboard, right? There's drawers at the bottom, and there's a little gap between the very bottom of the cupboard and the drawers. She's snuck her way right under there, so we know exactly where she is, and we're just gonna grab her after this after this interview or podcast. Sorry.
Yeah. Dude, let me drop. Yeah, we have a link there for you. So, Devin, you've been playing Dark Souls 3. You play a lot of Souls. You play Dota 2 as well. Give us, for people who don't know you, and yes, guys, he's a fellow Brit. So he's got, the British accent that makes people seem smarter and correct about things. So, dude, good to have you. But let me give you the opportunity, to throw out your elevator pitch. Like, who's Devin? Give me the short and
Sure,
sweet.
yeah. My name's Devin. I'm a streamer on Twitch. As you've correctly pointed out, I enjoy torturing myself to an unholy degree in basically everything I do, hence the Dark Souls and Dota. Yeah, when you basically, I'm just an energetic person. I like to chat a lot about a variety of different topics. If you come to my stream, we'll vibe. We'll have conversations about whatever comes to mind. Yeah, that's kind of the vibe. It's just like a chilled, very very talkative stream, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I got, because I'm trying to remember when it was the first time that I found your stream, but I think I found you on Twitter. We said like, hey, we have a lot in common because you're a software engineer, right? By trade, you do music stuff. And as you said, we also share the same hairstyle. So,
well, I'm getting a little scruffy now. This lockdown, look, this lockdown's having its way with my head at the minute.
But it was very cool. I watched your streams, a few times on and off, and I get this like really conversational thing where there isn't dead air. It's like a nice flow you have. One of the reasons why I wanted to have you on, good for a conversation. So
yeah.
Take that compliment and go with it.
Thank you very much.
But dude, I had a number of topics I wanted to talk to you about. As always, we always start with gaming and I guess like your life as a gamer and all that, how games impacted you. So why don't we use that as our springboard? How do you view games? How have they impacted you? How do you use them? Is it just an escapism thing?
So I guess like the easy. I mean, it's interesting because the way I view games now is very different to how I view games when I was like younger. And it's kind of always like I guess it's evolved over my life, right? Right now, I would say to me, games are broadly speaking art. I love just art in general, whether that's film, comic books, whether that's games, music, like whatever. I like art in all its forms. I want to get more into kind of standard gallery style art. So like I've been to the Tate Modern in London and stuff like that. I've been to galleries in Venice actually as well. There was like an art festival happening when I went there with my girlfriend. So we popped over. It was really cool. But yeah, broadly speaking, I would just say games are art in my opinion. And I really enjoy analyzing, absorbing and just, engaging with art really. I mean, a perfect example would be last night I saw a film called I'm Thinking of Ending Things, which is a very arty a film by a director called Charlie Kaufman. It's his third film. He releases like a film every 5 years and they're always just a complete head fuck. So if anybody's interested in like arty films, I highly recommend I'm Thinking of Ending Things, which came out last year. It's a Netflix exclusive, I believe, actually, as well.
Is it, by the way, is it like trigger warning for like suicide and stuff? Just based on the title.
It's well, so like not really.
Okay,
I'd say kind of. Honestly, he makes very strange films. It's kind of hard to say whether watching that someone would get that from it, but it's definitely like an element of it, I guess. Gotcha. I don't know if I'd say it's exactly a trigger warning though, because it's not explicit. It's very surrealist and hidden and obscured by metaphor and stuff like that, right?
Right. So, chat, just to dissuade your fears, the snakes are harmless. So it's not like fucking dark mambas or anything.
yeah, don't worry about it. It's just a little corn snake. She's pathetic. If she bites you, she's more likely to damage herself than you. So don't sweat it. She's cool.
Dude, I just had this vision. You should have this the what's it called? Like the container for it.
enclosure.
The enclosure. Thank you. Like behind you on the desk or something. So when you're on stream, you know, throw some accent lights so people can look at the snakes and stuff?
You know, no, you know what? Actually, I did. I had a really similar idea. Funnily enough, for a while because I like to on my stream I like to get feedback from everyone who watches. I'm constantly trying to improve little things here and there. And one of the ideas I came up with was, wouldn't it be cool if we had a snake cam? Like I could wire up a camera into a cage. There's holes at the back, so I could pop a cable in and just hook a camera up. So you have like a snake enclosure cam. That was one of the ideas I had, but we decided not to go with it in the end.
That would be epic, I think, dude.
I think it'd be pretty sick personally, but chat was like, whatever, I don't care that much. It's like,
yeah,
right,
fair enough. I mean, it would just be like a cool extra, not
yeah,
needed.
exactly. Yeah.
But actually, Chrissy has a good point because Bloodborne is like a really art-rich Souls game, right?
Yes,
All of
for
the
sure.
setting is like, you know, it's an art piece. So
Yeah.
have you played that one? I assume you have, but
Yeah. I've played Bloodborne front to back on stream. We did it over we did that. Oh, what's it? Can I swear on here?
Oh yeah.
Is that okay?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, we did it over. What's it called? It's like so it's a PS4 exclusive or free exclusive or whatever. And I did it
Yes.
over the like PlayStation casting or something through the router.
PS Now,
So-
that thing.
Yeah, something like that. But well, I think PS Now is the live service, kind of like what Stadia does. Whereas this is, I think, slightly different. Is it PS Now? Maybe it is. I can't remember. But either way,
You're talking about the streaming from your console to like some
my
other
PC,
TRPC.
yeah. But yeah, this was like a while ago when we played Bloodborne, and it was like unbelievably laggy even for me. So fighting all the bosses was
Disaster,
really hard,
dude.
Yeah, it was a very cursed stream, but we had a lot of fun.
A true challenge run.
Yeah, true challenge run. Orphan of Kos is probably my favorite boss in video game history as well. So I have an attachment to that game from that.
Yeah.
Sorry, just going back to what you were saying, actually, just really quickly. It's interesting because I kind of fell out of love with games. I'd say around like maybe 18 to like 23, that sort of time. Like I didn't really play that many games because I was super engrossed with music at the time. But yeah, after that kind of point in my life, like around 24, 25, I sort of realized like I still play a lot of video games, even though I've kind of like not super, I'm not super up to date with everything that happens with them these days. But like I realized that like that's the one art form that's been with me since I was like a kid. And from that, I've had like more of a connection to it as of recently. Well, I say recently, the last like 3 years or whatever. But yeah, so yeah, that's kind of my whole history of video games.
And then just to get a bit more of your background, because you mentioned you do software engineering in some capacity. So what is your work like without revealing, private details?
Actually, I don't know if you remember last time we spoke. My life is incredibly cursed at the minute. No, it's just that so last time we spoke, I just quit my current job. And I haven't actually. I'm still unemployed at the minute. But dude. This honestly, recently has been utterly crazy in my life. It's been very strange the last like month, maybe longer than that, maybe like 6 months or so. But yeah, I haven't picked up another job since then. I was looking into DevOps stuff at the time, but I have done a ton of like I've picked up web development recently actually.
Yeah.
So I've started learning a little bit about I forget what the framework is called. It's a Python framework though.
Yeah.
And I've also been doing a little bit of like WordPress stuff, just toying around with that. Yeah, so that's pretty much all my software engineering stuff that I've done recently. What I really want to do, though, to be honest, is I'd really like to get more into game development because it's something that I've always been interested in.
Oh, cool.
And now that I kind of have a bit more time to fuck around with stuff, I think it's a good time to do it.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, that's the beauty of the field, right? It's pretty easy for you to move to a different specialty or a different sub area because it's all like loosely connected in like the way of thinking about things. So very cool.
Yeah, exactly. It's all the same kind of like fundamental ideas, and it takes a similar sort of like if you're good at analytical skills, if you're good at like using just general logic,
you can pick up a new language, right? It's not a problem. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's really not. But I mean, interestingly, I guess like I think the most interesting thing that's happening right now is I may actually have time for all of these crazy ideas I've had. Like I still want to pick up guitar because I play drums, but I still want to pick up guitar, and I have like a bunch of other different hobbies that I really want to make time for. And recently, I've actually gotten into trading, so I'm looking at maybe just supporting myself with trading. So I've actually managed to do it for like a solid month now, and I've just been I've been like profitable over the whole month.
Dude,
and I've
very
avoided.
Cool.
Yeah, but the funny thing is though, I've actually I was looking at getting into trading about 6 months ago, and I sort of did it. And I was just fucking around with like a really small amount of money. Only started taking it seriously recently, and I've managed to be profitable without hopping on any of the like meme stocks.
Yeah.
So I haven't touched like GameStop or BlackBerry or
Right.
any of the ones that
Yeah.
Wall Street Bets are pushing. So it's kind of funny that independently of me getting into trading and taking it more seriously, it seems to have really picked up steam just by parallel, you know?
Very true.
It's been a really strange.
It's
strange
funny
month.
you mention it. I'm also looking into getting into the trading game at the moment.
Oh right, no way.
Yeah. Yeah, because I have some savings. I try to save every month, right? So my idea is to like every month put a percentage of that towards the trading stuff, investments. But I don't know anything about it, so there's a bit of a learning curve before I play with real money to know what I'm doing, right? Yeah.
I wish I was as cool-headed as that, I guess. But when I started, I jumped into it because I was like, so for me, it was a lot of the fun is like playing around with my own money because I used to play a lot of poker. I was like pretty good at it. So it kind of had a similar of course, yeah.
Right.
It's the only poker, right?
The real poker.
Omaha, whatever the fuck. I don't care. Like 5 cards. Just
get out of here with the
doing,
5 cards. Jeez.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, because of poker, I think I've picked up a lot of skills that have been useful for trading. And obviously, when I jumped into trading, I was like, well, I'm going to use real money because it's just more fun for me. But recently, it's actually been going like really well. Like this month, I've done I've blown myself away a little bit. I've had like I think 90% of my trades have been positive. Have ended up in like the making money camp, which is pretty crazy.
Dude, this is why I wanted to have you back on. Every time I talk to you, there's like 3 or 5 other threads that I want to, because you just brought up poker, which I love poker as well. Yeah. And there's so much from poker that I also take onto other things, like the Bayesian way of thinking, like updating the probabilities, right, of your certainties on things.
Oh, dude, it's fucking crazy. Like, there's so many things that I've learned from poker that have just been life lessons in general. So, like, the concept of, I feel like this is something people struggle with so much. And it's like, the concept that what ends up happening, the result, doesn't always tell you whether what you did was good or bad, right? In poker, you can make a bad play and make money from it because the probability just worked out in your favor.
Yeah.
But it's over the long run, and you can apply that to anything in life. Like, you just need to, you shouldn't be like, I guess, conclusion oriented. It's better to have like a good process and a good way of like working through a problem. And even if you get to the wrong solution in the end, you have the tools to, in the future, approach the problem in a good way, right?
That's a key insight. Separate the outcome from the decision-making part, right?
It's so
because
important. It's unbelievably
we operate with limited information, so that means maybe the outcome sucks in the end, but at the time with the information we had, that was the right call, or it made sense at least, right? Yeah, very true.
Yeah. It's the shift away from like outcome-oriented thinking it's just so important, like in general in life, in basically every field, in my opinion. I think it's applicable to everything. But yeah.
So that's a nice segue towards the big theme I wanted to hit today, which is like getting good at games, because I've been thinking a lot about this this week in particular, because I'm starting Neo 2 today on the channel, and I haven't played Neo 1, so for me it's a very new, challenging experience, right? Very different from what I'm used to, and I've been thinking about like, what are the best ways for you to get better without having to grind out, like 200 hours, right?
Yeah.
And I linked it back to Dota 2, which I know you also play, again, everything coming into connection here. But, back when I was like really active playing Dota 2, I realized the big mistake I made was playing too much Dota. And so playing a lot of games, but not necessarily going back and analyzing games, right? Not putting the work.
This is so funny you've mentioned this, because this is applicable to 2 things currently, and neither of them are actually even Dota. I definitely agree. Like, so interestingly, I dropped Dota for a while just because I just
need a break.
I wouldn't have fell out of love with it, but I just needed a break. Yeah, basically. And I picked up again recently, and I've been trying to learn bit by bit and blah 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 blah, the usual stuff. But there's 2 games, one of which I know you're into because I just saw it on your stream beforehand. I've picked up chess again because I haven't played it in a long time.
Dude.
And precisely what you've just said is
go.
so important for chess. It's like a very studyable game, And
Yes.
just grinding games won't actually improve
It
that,
won't.
help you improve that much.
You're
You
repeating
need
the
to, like,
same shit that doesn't work, right? And it's tough
precisely.
because it's fun to just play, and it's not as fun to like go over games and analyze your plays. But that's how you get better, right?
Yeah, no, you have to bring out the inner nerd. You know, you can't like just grind games forever. You have
Dude,
to be like, okay, well,
I'm
I need to
throwing
learn
the
this London
gauntlet.
system and blah,
I'm
blah,
throwing the
blah.
gauntlet right here live. Add me on chess.com, Johnny Plays Live, and we will play, dude. All right?
Let's go. All right.
Honor is at stake.
What's your elo? I'm gonna get fucking embarrassed.
I just started. No, dude. This is the perfect time.
All right.
I just started. I had never studied chess before in my life, so I'm like elo 400 or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm starting. I'm like documenting it on YouTube. I'm making a series out of it. Every week I post a video of like me playing a game and talking about things I learned and stuff. Very cool. Chess has been
perfect.
It's so crazy, yeah, because chess has also been like a big surprise for me. It's now the third week that I started this, like playing chess and trying to learn, and it's been a hell of a journey. There's so much to learn. It's such an interesting game.
Yeah,
and it's a good relief from just normal video games, let's say, because it's something that, you know, I can even play on the board. So I actually have a board. You know, sometimes I just like sit on my bed and I play a game against myself on the board. And it's like, it's tough because, you know, it's you versus you. So it's like, you know, anyways.
No, I know exactly.
It's an interesting exercise.
Yeah, for sure. Just working through chess puzzles is a really good way to kind of
stay sharp.
It's another like analytical skill that just trains that part of your mind, right? I'm incredibly blessed, to be honest, because so I bought this flat with basically one of my best friends. I've known him for like he's like a brother to me, you know. I've known him for like 15 years, longer than that actually at this point. But yeah, basically he's also recently gotten into chess, so we have a chessboard and we play games like in person regularly, and
amazing.
It's so fun playing in person. Like honestly, playing on a real chessboard I love it.
It's so enjoyable.
Yeah, for sure. I used to play when I was younger, and I just dropped the hobby till now, basically. And but it's been super fun getting back into it. I do love that game.
Yeah, but I guess to link it back to Dota 2, just to get like, how was your experience? Because when I started watching you were just getting into it. I think you were like brand new, you know, like baby face.
Yeah, probably.
How was your experience? How far do you feel you've come? Give us a little rundown of your journey there.
So I guess I feel like I've gone through multiple different stages, honestly, and I feel like there's multiple different stages of Dota in general. But like when I started, I had no idea what I was doing. Like I literally had no idea, you know, what I was supposed to do. Like I think the most important thing with Dota is kind of the general game flow.
Yes.
Like learning champions is important. You know, understanding how to last hit.
Sorry, let me just stop you because you said champions. And that's a league term. We don't do league. No, I'm joking.
Sorry,
I'm just busting your balls.
Actually, that's fair. I'm gonna flagellate myself later. I need a punishment for that. That was pretty bad. Just execute me. Honestly, throw me in a ditch. But no, genuinely. I think the most important thing with Dota is that, like, the general game flow is one of the most important things in it, in my opinion. Understanding the stages of the game and when you should be with your team and not with your team is like all of that stuff is unbelievably important. But when I started, I really didn't realize how important it was. So I was more focused on just, you know, farming really efficiently and that kind of thing. But it was a huge jump in my play when I just suddenly realized, like, okay, I should probably actually like consider when my cooldowns are ready, go hang out with my team when I need to, try and get some kills, like maybe set up ganks. Like Dota's one of those games where the second you switch from a passive to active mindset, your gameplay will just improve a ton. And that's kind of the core of what it comes down to. But at least in my opinion, so far on my journey.
I agree. I'm
still trash, by the way, so be careful. But
what's your elo? How far up did you get? Do you remember? MMR?
So my MMR, when I first started, I did want to play some matches, and I got something like 400. I was like insanely low.
Right.
And then I grinded up to, so I was like the bottom of the bottom, you know, Herald like 4 or 5, I think is where I started.
Okay.
Then I got up to the top of Guardian. So not amazing, but like around 1500 elo, I think.
Cool.
But obviously since I haven't played in a while, I did the rank reset, stopped playing midway between the rank reset, and now I'm back down to like 900 or something.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but it is, in a way, it's kind of nice because I'm still not like bad, and I've lost more elo than I should have. So in the games I'm currently in, I am better than most people in the games.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's the
it's nice to
the
just
good
have
thing.
casual, relaxed games, right? You know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because I also like I used to get lost in the dance of last hitting and denying
Yeah.
versus the big picture, right? What's
Yeah,
happening in the game? Like, does my team need me? And
Yeah,
that
yeah.
changes from game to game, right? The tempo of it. Like some games you need to come out early and play ball. Other games you're just farming, and that's the best thing you
Vibe,
can
yeah.
do. It's almost
Yeah,
like
for sure.
you got these units of time. If you, I guess, to draw a chess analogy, you have your turn, and if you don't do something valuable with your turn that forces your opponent to react in some way, then maybe you've wasted your turn, right?
Yeah.
Or you haven't set yourself up for a next play or something like that. So in Dota, it's the same. If you're just passively farming, sometimes it's the right thing to do, but a lot of the time it will get to the point where there was something way more valuable you could have done with that minute.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
it's so crazy to think, but like 1 minute in the early game, that is a huge impact. The change of you like teleporting to another lane and like getting a kill, and then that lane, the domino effect, right? It's so crazy.
No, it is a proper like it is definitely it's one of those games where like one thing can start getting out of control really quickly. One way that someone put it actually is there's a guy on the subreddit, on the Dota 2 subreddit, who's there a ton and kind of helps new players, and he just like he's posted a lot of different farming guides on how to get more efficient on farming and general tips, right?
Yeah.
And one day, weirdly enough, he just literally showed up on my stream. He just showed up in chat.
Whoa.
It was like, hey, I want to help you out. And I was like, okay, whatever. So he came on live with me and gave me like a lesson just out of
just coaching. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. And one of the things he said that really stuck for me is if you can farm efficiently in the early game, it sets you up for the entire game. Because if you get even 100 more gold than the other carry in the early game, that means you get an item like 15 seconds quicker, which means you get the next 1,000 gold like a minute quicker, which means you get the next 10,000 gold like 2 minutes quicker. And that's like, you're like an item ahead at that point, right?
Yeah.
And it makes, there's a proper like domino effect.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Dota is a game of small things adding up to huge effects.
Yeah.
So the small things, as we were saying, it's like a, in outer space, if you have a ship. I'm full of analogies today, but if you have a spaceship, right?
Shower me in analogies.
And
Let's go.
you make a small change in direction, that in the long run, after thousands of miles, that's giant. You're in a different galaxy, right? You end up in a different galaxy because of like the geometry
we were
of
off by 0.0001 degree. I guess we're dead now.
We're dead, right?
Yeah, we missed the Earth.
Like someone got the units wrong. They fucking used nautical miles or something.
Oh god, yeah. That'd be the worst way to die, man, honestly.
Let's pull it back to let's pull it back to Souls a little bit. How does your process of like getting good in those games look like?
So I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to games like Souls games, because I just inherently enjoy the games like on a visceral level. I enjoy doing the moving and rolling and managing my stamina, that kind of stuff. I approach it in a very caveman like way. I don't really like look up to too many guides or anything like that. Whoever's in chat generally helps out a bit, but honestly, it's just pure trial and error. I think caveman, big stick, whack my way through that game.
For me, it's the same. I think those games, it's much more. Sure, you can be analytical about it, like, hey, why did I die, right? And you can think like, okay, maybe I was too aggressive with my rolls or whatever. But for me, it's like a trial and error thing.
Yeah.
Where like, hey, that doesn't work. Right, 3 stabs on that dude is too greedy. Let's do 2.
Yeah.
So you pull it back.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it is for me. The interesting thing is a game like Neo 2. I don't know. Have you played Neo or Neo 2?
No, the only non From Software games I've played have been Salt and Sanctuary, and I also played Blasphemous recently, which was, by the way, fucking incredible game. If anybody's thinking about picking up Blasphemous,
was that the 2D side scroller Souls?
Yeah. Metroidvania. It's more of a Metroidvania than a Souls-like, really, but it does have a lot of Souls-like elements, and I'd highly recommend it to anyone who's a fan of Metroidvanias, Souls games, or both. The art in that game is probably my favorite part about it, and the atmosphere. But it's just so inspired. They went hardcore down the kind of like loads of religious symbolism, and it's incredibly brutal as well as a game. Like some of the enemy design is just like, it must be painful to exist as that enemy, you know. It's old school Catholicism, you know. It's really cool.
That's cool, man. Is it like a pixel art style?
Yeah,
cool.
It's what's interesting with the art in that game. Sorry, we'll get back to what you were saying a second ago. This tangent's important. I love this game. But one thing that is interesting with that game is when I first saw it, I watched a trailer and I thought it looked a little bit ugly. Like I wasn't so convinced on the pixel art style. But it's one of those games where the longer you sit with it, the more you kind of let the art sit with you as well, the more you realize that it's got this purposefully unpolished kind of like grungy aesthetic, but it only reinforces everything the game's trying to do, you know? And it fits it beautifully, even if it doesn't look like anything too special initially, I guess. So, yeah.
Dude, I have to check that out. Let me add it to my list here of things to check out.
It's one of those things where, like, going back to what I was saying about art, is I just have so much respect for artists, man, honestly. Because, like, the team that made it are this tiny Italian indie team that did the game through Kickstarter. And they just have so much passion for the subject matter. And they've really done an amazing job.
That's awesome. You've sold it to me, dude. I have it now on my list. I'll check it out. But yeah, like, I saw you play in DS3. Is that your first playthrough right now in DS3?
No, so I've beaten all the From Software games. Okay. So I've done, Dark Souls 1 through 3, Bloodborne, and Sekiro. So tell a lie, not all of them actually, not like Kingsfield or whatever it was called from back in the day.
Oh, right, yeah.
But yeah, exactly right, yeah. And actually, I haven't beaten Demon's Souls either because I have no access to it. But what was I saying? But oh my god, sorry, what was the question?
If it's your first DS3 playthrough and you're saying no.
Sorry, yeah, of course. No, I'm playing through Dark Souls 3 again, but this time we're doing it on the Cinders mod. So I have beat it once. We're doing the Cinders mod.
Dude, I did play Cinders mod. It's tough, man. Like,
oh, dude, yeah. No, I struggled with it so much at the start. I was a little worried it would honestly take longer than expected. I've started to get used to and acclimatize to the difficulty. But yeah, man, it's definitely it's
different enemy placements. Like I remember early on, dude, in Road of Sacrifices, which is in the base game, if you know it, it's pretty easy, right? You know how to get through it. But like I'm going through it, and there's this like giant guy, the giant tree guy that summons like spirits on you, and he's sitting there, like completely out of place, and like,
yeah, no,
so many of those cases.
So many of those sections are an absolute nightmare for me. Yeah, I honestly struggled at the start more than I struggled now, I guess. I feel like I've acclimatized quite well, but it did definitely take a while. Like it was a rough learning curve.
Yeah, but it's a full like revamp in a lot of ways.
Yeah, no, there's a lot to love about the mod for sure. Yeah. They've just done an incredible job with it, without a shadow of a doubt.
Jonathan, welcome back. Thanks for the 9 months, man. Cheers. But so because I saw you playing and you were using some ridiculous like glove weapon, and you had it on your head too. So for people who don't know, this is like, it looks like a hand, but all like fucked up, and your helmet was also the hand, and then you had it on you, and you were just like slapping people with it.
We oh god, what is it? I forget what the area is called, but there's an area where there's these enemies where it's where Yawn the Giant is, and just before that area.
Yep.
Yeah, but basically there's these enemies that are like just their bodies are kind of like almost like flat hair, slightly hairier hippos, I guess. But then their face is just a giant hand with teeth all over
the thumb dudes, right?
Yeah, that's it. They've got like 6 fingers or some shit as well. And when you kill 2 of those guys in a slightly more secluded area, they drop the fist weapons that you've seen, and also the headgear. And the second I saw it, I was like, we have to put it on, right? And then when I put it on, I was like, holy shit, this guy is incredible. And we completely respect all of our stats into strength, so we could just go around slapping everything to death. And his name is Porgers. That's his name.
Dude, that's awesome. Blue Hornet, the interview lasts for 30 more minutes, and then we're playing Neo 2. Yeah. Dude, what do you think of, because when I caught you on stream, you were fighting the nameless king boss.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The name was escaping me for a second there.
Yeah.
Which
well, hey.
for many people that's like the hardest boss in the whole game. How do you feel about it? You seem to be doing good against him, so.
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to beat him in that stream, to be honest, because first time we fought him, I really struggled. This time I did find him significantly easier, though, to be honest. It was a case of like I was really underleveled for the fight. So the first 40 minutes of attempts when I was fighting him, I was coming like kind of close, but it was like, man, this feels so much harder than before. Then I realized all my gear was ridiculously underleveled. Like the gloves I had were only like +3, so we leveled them up to +8. Cracked all of our souls, leveled up our health. I think there was one. I can't remember what else we did. There was one other thing. Our Estus flasks. We had a bunch of shards and the dust to upgrade it.
Yeah.
So we upgraded all that stuff, and then we pretty much beat him in that attempt. So yeah, it wasn't. In the end, it wasn't too bad. It took less than an hour, which surprised me, to be honest. I thought it was going to take a bit longer. But
yeah, no, that went pretty well. Especially, watching you just slap him with the gloves was great.
Just slap him to death.
Slap him to death.
Fine.
But also, have you done the DLC for DS3? Yeah. It's pretty brutal. I struggled to beat that like by myself. That was rough.
Yeah, Sister Freed. I'm curious to see how that fight's going to go a second time.
Yeah, that's I think maybe the only like 3-phase boss in the game.
One of the only ones for sure. Yeah, and obviously, what's his name? Oh, you know what? He's also a 3-stage boss, but not in the same way as Sister Freed is. Gale.
Oh yeah, Gale Slaver King.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So those are the two bosses that are probably the toughest from the DLC.
He may be like one of the coolest bosses ever in the way his moves are like ninja but chaotic and crazy. Pretty dope.
He's a very well designed boss. I think he blends a lot of different boss elements from over the course of all of the Soulsborne series.
Yeah.
So I do really enjoy him for sure. Like he's a really cool boss. He's one of my mates' like favorite boss of all time or something. Like
It makes one
sense,
of the top designs. Did you do Medir, the dragon?
Yes, I did. Yeah. He's like the almost
the
like
big black dragon at the bottom of the.
Yeah, that honestly, I struggled with Medir. Actually, you know what? I'm remembering now. Medir was the hardest DLC boss for me because I suck fighting against stuff that's like big and lumbering. Like I'm really good at if you face me against like a knight who just strikes quickly, all the moves are quite snappy, and I feel like my brain just is pretty good at dodging those attacks because I don't know. I feel like my reflexes are decent, but my actual reading of attacks is quite bad. So whenever it's a big boss that makes like fast but kind of like weird movements in their attacks, I kind of struggle with it. So Medir was a real challenge for me.
Yeah, same. And also like just how long the fight takes because he's tanky.
So
you're set for like a 15-minute deal where if you make a mistake, that's a wrap, and you just have to like keep dodging perfectly. And he's got those big AoE attacks. It's just rough.
AoE attacks will forever send me to the goddamn grave. I'm so bad at dodging
dude, those big ones, that's like almost no way to dodge. It's like, okay.
The worst one in all of them, and I can't believe this even made it into the game, I think is such bullshit, is the you know the ancient dragon from Dark Souls 2? It's big like when it flies in the air and breathes on the ground and you have to like run to its tail. But you have to realize the second it leaves the ground, you have to run. If you don't start running, it's basically a one-shot kill if you don't dodge it. It's so brutal.
Yeah, that's DS2 for you. A lot of bosses feel a little cheap for me.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's still like a fun game, but for sure it has those issues. Yeah, Breakthrough Gamer, what's up? Welcome,
hey, man. How you doing, bud?
How you doing? He a buddy of yours?
Yeah, he's one of my boys. He's a good sub. So
gang.
Yeah, absolutely. Represent.
Awesome. Yeah. Anything else on DS3 that comes to mind you want to touch on?
I mean, not especially. I gotta tell you what. This may be a hot take. Actually, I'll give you a hot take. I think I honestly think Dark Souls 3 might be the weakest Dark Souls game.
Sorry, let me close the call and never. No, I'm
Peace
joking.
out. It's been a fun interview. Peace out, boys. Come check me out. DevinReviews. All right. Peace out. Yeah. No,
all right, explain.
I think Dark Souls 3 is my least favorite one. And there's a couple of reasons as to why, right? So, like, in terms of, on a technical level, in terms of, like, the design, it's probably the strongest. Like, it probably has the tightest combat, some of the most well-designed bosses, really solid areas, stuff like that. But for me, and to be fair, if I played it first, I probably wouldn't have this opinion. But I played Dark Souls 1 first, and the thing I loved about that game was how much of like an adventure it felt like. It felt like this incredibly sorry, just one second. Okay, sorry, just give me 2 seconds. I need to give my girlfriend's mask back. I borrowed it.
Oh yeah, go for it. I was just laughing at Breakthrough Gamer saying didn't expect to get called a good sub. That was indeed pretty unexpected. 3 worse than 2. It is a hot take. Yeah. It is a hot take. So no pressure, but you got, your work cut out for you to explain
That's all right. I can defend myself. It's fine. I'm not a coward, all right? If there's one thing I am, it's incredibly obnoxiously opinionated, so we'll be fine here. Don't worry about it. But yeah, basically, Dark Souls 1, the thing I liked most about it was how much of an adventure it felt like. The fact that every zone had a super striking, like, unique aesthetic. All the zones kind of kept each other in perfect equilibrium. Like, you had the forest area, you have, like, the abyss place where Manus lives and stuff like that. You got, like, these old kind of world areas that you can go back in time to visit in the DLC. You've got, like, the crystal caverns, even though they're kind of a pain in the arse of an area, they still look visually interesting and striking from other areas, right? And the whole thing just has this kind of, like, it has this vibe that you're kind of just one being buzzing around this insane, incomprehensible world, right? And that was a large part of the appeal for me from the first one, even though some of the mechanics were perhaps a bit clunky or dated or whatever.
Yeah.
Dark Souls 2, I still think it has its issues. I understand why people think it's the worst one in the series. I totally get it. But Dark Souls 2 has a very dreamlike quality to me that I really enjoyed. Plus, I feel like it experimented in a lot of ways that I also really enjoyed. I actually enjoyed how different the combat felt, even if it was a bit more clunky in certain areas. I enjoyed the differences in challenges. Like, the healing is handled quite differently in Dark Souls 2. And as a result,
because it's totally terrible, Devin. It's a disaster.
I don't mind it. I actually didn't. I thought it was like a unique challenge, to be honest, from coming off of Dark Souls 1. I understand why people dislike it, but I don't know. I still think it's a unique challenge, in my opinion.
Fair.
I think it shot for the stars, and it definitely didn't do everything well, but
it does have some kick-ass DLC as well.
Oh god, the DLC is so good. Yeah, the DLC is like strongest in the series, basically, as far as I'm concerned. I absolutely love the Dark Souls 2 DLC. But like so I agree with what just Timeless Soul just said in chat. It was a challenge. It was a mess. I completely agree, but I'm not someone who is turned away from a game just because it's messy. It definitely was messy.
Well, we're talking about enjoyment. So, like, for you, that, like, for some reason connected and it was great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it was very ambitious in what it was trying to do. My biggest gripe with it is that it was just way too fucking long. That was the biggest issue I had. It's such a big game. And Dark Souls 3, it's not a bad game by any stretch. I enjoy it. I'm playing for a second time with mods, right? So I definitely enjoy it. But my issue with it is I felt like it regressed. It feels like a more polished version of Dark Souls 1 with less variety and less what's the word? Inspiration, I guess. It just felt like another Dark Souls game. It was a good one, sure, but it was just another Dark Souls
I think
game,
that's where maybe the framing of it makes me think of it as a better game than you. Because for me, that's what I wanted. I wanted, the latest iteration of Dark Souls with the same stuff that I love, just done better technical presentation, cool locations, cool armor. And we got that, so fair enough. Yeah. So I would agree with you. It doesn't innovate maybe in ways that, DS1 did, obviously. Or maybe you could even argue it's not as ambitious as DS2 was.
Yeah, I definitely would argue that.
But for me, what I wanted from it was that, the most polished iteration of that, series.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree for sure. Yeah.
So if that's what you want, that's what I wanted, then I think DS3 is the best one. But from your frame, I totally get your framing, which is like, hey, these others did something a bit more unique, and I can
guess
dig that.
I guess ultimately this is the way I'd like to kind of like phrase what I'm saying. It's like, to me, the Dark Souls series was never about the combat and the bosses. Those were kind of like, the combat and the bosses was the challenge to present this incredibly hostile world. But
Yeah.
it was all in service of presenting a larger than life world where you really do feel like the oppressive atmosphere of it. I don't get that in Dark Souls 3 at all. I don't feel like I am this kind of insignificant thing buzzing around this once great world. And like, they focused more on just making the combat good, which for me, like I said, was always a supplement to the rest of the game.
Do you
and
think
that's kind of the core for me of why I didn't enjoy it as much.
Right. Do you think there's an element of DS1 being the first game of that type for you, so it felt a bit more oppressive, a bit more challenging, a bit more overwhelming, and that you were more powerless, let's say, than in DS3? Because I think for me that's the case. Definitely.
Sure. Yeah, no, I said at the start of this, I think I may have a different opinion had I played Dark Souls 3 first. I definitely think it's possible. Because, like, I definitely think that whatever is your first Souls game that you play, you get attached to in some way, because they're all, at the end of the day, from someone who hasn't played any of the series,
Yeah.
it's all the games are fairly challenging, right? Even though I think most people do think Dark Souls 3 is the least challenging, and I would agree, but I think that's coming from the perspective of a veteran. If I played that first, I would have struggled
100%.
with it, right?
Also, it's not really taking into account the DLC, which for me, it's brutal.
Sure,
right? That DLC is rough. It's full of really difficult stuff.
That's interesting. So I don't find the DLC of for me, the toughest DLC was always Bloodborne. I find the Bloodborne DLC just hell.
Well, yes. We can talk about Bloodborne, because that's a whole other can of worms. I think that's the most difficult for me.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I find it the most difficult of all of them.
Because DS3, well, all Dark Souls games for me are very methodical in the way I play. I advance like fairly slowly but steady, and I know my distancing, right? I know I can keep my distance enough so that attacks don't hit me, for example, and then I go in for an attack. I feel very much in control, very much like I'm gonna be fine. Bloodborne, all bets are off. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know the ranges of enemies. It's all rabid beasts with impossible like poise and stamina. So it's a different ball game for me.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I honestly, Bloodborne is so. I would say Dark Souls is my favorite. Dark Souls 1. Bloodborne is probably my second favorite. Then it would probably be I'd say Sekiro. And then it would be Dark Souls 2 and 3. But I do totally agree. Bloodborne is kind of feels to me the most, even though Sekiro is definitely the most different mechanically.
Right.
I would say Bloodborne almost feels the most different, just in how quick everything is,
the pace of it is crazy.
It's crazy. One of the things I always thought was, and I think the pace of it is definitely a positive in the game in general, but it is also where you find the most bullshit. The biggest problem for me in Bloodborne is I think the hunters feel like you're fighting an ungodly other power, and they should have felt like you were fighting another version of yourself, really. That's one place where I think the challenge got a little bit I think you could criticize that element of it, because the hunters just don't feel like hunters. They just feel like bosses, basically, like really fucking
demigods.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I agree.
Their health pools are like outrageously big. And I don't see. In my opinion, they should have just reduced the health pool, kept the attacks and all that exactly the same, but made them try and make openings to heal as well, instead of having just such a big health pool.
I agree with you. And sometimes they're so tanky. It's just like. It doesn't feel productive to fight them. It's like, I'm just going to skip you or something, because it's...
I skipped, I think, all of the... I don't know if I fought... I must have fought some of the hunters, but I didn't fight many. Like, they were a proper pain in the arse. But yeah.
Yeah. Blue Hornet. Yeah, so the viewer count is an interesting thing for streamers, because a lot of people stress about it incredibly. And you got to understand that it will fluctuate, and some of it may be linked to, something you did, but a lot of it is just down to people have their own lives, and like someone needed to go take a shit, or someone needed to go cook, right? Not all of it is under your control. So you have to learn to take it as a data point, but at the same time not take it like as a personal affront too much.
Well, actually, I don't know about that, Johnny. As far as I'm concerned, if my fans don't take an iPad to the toilet every time they take a shit, they can continue to stream with me. They're fucking up, right? They don't deserve to watch my stream, okay?
That's commitment right there.
Slack.
If you take us to the toilet,
best, okay?
That's the level of commitment, chat. Yeah.
Yep. If you come to my stream, it's fucking brutal, okay?
Yeah.
I'll ban you out of no. You'll be sent to the gulags, my fine sir. No, I'm just kidding.
Number one, lurker. Lurkers are appreciated. That's the other thing, dude. It's like, if someone appreciates your content enough to have it in the background, that's like, primo real estate, the background.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like, just in general, the fact that people watch me is mind-blowing to me.
Dude, it's crazy.
It's super cool, man.
And thanks for the bits, Breakthrough Gamer. Cheers, man. I appreciate that. Gotta say, I take Devin to the toilet, but it's definitely not a compliment. Nice. Little banter, I dig it.
Yep.
But what do you think of Sekiro? Because we touched on it, just to put the bow on the Souls piece.
Yep. To be honest, I think I really enjoyed Sekiro for sure. I think it has its issues, but in my opinion, and of course this is just my opinion, I think Sekiro is probably objectively the best game. Like in terms of on a technical level and on a challenge level, the way that they've streamlined all the mechanics, which I understand some people dislike the lack of variety in Sekiro, for example. I actually think it's a huge strength of the game because they clearly just wanted to make. I think what's good about Sekiro that elevates it, in my opinion, is the fact that they had a very clear vision for that game.
Oh yeah,
and every mechanic, every decision they made, whether that's a boss they wanted to include a section, the way damage works, like everything is there to reinforce that one cohesive vision. And because of that, I would say that I think Sekiro, although it's not my favorite of the Soulsborne games, I think it's probably objectively the best one.
It may be.
It's so polished as well.
I do resent how unforgiving it is of people who don't want to play that, parry style. It's just not viable. You just gotta play the game. You gotta play the game how they envisioned it. And when you do, it's great, and it's dope. But it does take a while for you to just surrender and say, okay.
It's all, for sure. It's also one of those things, I think, where it's almost a shame it's associated with the Soulsborne series. And I get why it is, and there are a lot of Soulsborne elements in it. But in my opinion, the core, the soul of the game is very different, right?
Yeah.
Like where Dark Souls and Bloodborne share a common soul, and a lot of the Souls-like games like Blasphemous I've just mentioned, where they all share, and Neo as well, where they all share a common soul. I think Sekiro doesn't. I think Sekiro is almost more of a rhythm game, really, than anything else. In a lot of
very
ways.
much so. The rhythm element on it is the biggest. It's almost like a rhythm game with the rapping, with the
Soulsborne,
with the rapping of a Soulsborne game.
Yeah.
But very cool and very polished. With a cool story and stuff. So I appreciate it for sure. All right, good. So let's go on to streaming a little bit, because I always like to chat, to my fellow streamers about their strategies and how it's going for them. I always learn from other people. Yeah. So for you, how's it going? How do you view your streaming journey at this point? And what are some of your goals, I guess, that you're going after?
So my streaming's actually at the minute, it's taken a bit of a, it's fallen a bit into the background compared to how it used to be. And this is due for a bunch of different reasons, right? But I guess the core reason at the minute is because I'm focusing on trading, and I kind of want to make that my full-time income, really. So most days I'm just trading a ton and trying to learn as much about trading as I can, researching companies, all that kind of stuff. I still commit to the streams I'm doing, and on those streams, I've basically so what was interesting actually is there was a point where my stream was taken off a bit, and I kind of rose in viewership, and I was getting a lot of a decent amount of hype behind my stream, right? And it felt really fucking cool. But after I finished Sekiro, actually, viewership started to drop. And obviously when that happens, it's understandable. People only want to watch certain games or whatever. I totally get it. But it is a little bit discouraging from a personal perspective. And I think after I got over that to some extent, I think at that point the stream took a bit of a hit in terms of quality, to be honest. I was a little bit man, what am I doing wrong? How can I improve this? Because I'm constantly trying to think about that stuff, right? But after a point, I was you know what? It is what it is. I think like I should just keep doing what I'm doing and not sweat it, basically. And since doing that, I actually think the streams have become a lot better. It's a lot more chilled. We have like a solid group of people that always show up. It feels very like wholesome and like you're just hanging out with friends most of the time. And also the other thing is because I've been focusing more on YouTube, I've been trying to produce more YouTube videos and YouTube content.
Nice.
Like the streaming really has taken a bit of a back foot, but it almost feels like everything I do on YouTube now is kind of the core of the content, and the streams are just where everyone comes to hang out for a bit, you know?
So yeah. What kind of stuff are you doing? Sorry, go on.
Oh yeah, and I was going to say a good way to think about it actually is if you think of it from like a musician perspective, the YouTube content for me is kind of like the album. It's like the artistic statement, and then the live streaming is the equivalent to live performances, right? It's the party and the touring and all that shit, right? That's kind of a good way to think about it, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a great way. Also, you gotta diversify, right? You don't put all your eggs in the same Twitch basket.
Exactly.
Because it happens to be a basket with very poor discoverability.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So you want to diversify, and it's also exciting to do different shit, right?
Yeah.
So I found that's something, a step I took as well. I pulled back one day. I used to do 4 streams a week. That left me no time for any other, stuff. So I pulled back one day. Now I do 3. And I have time to do YouTube stuff. It's very exciting for me. It's a different dynamic, right? You're creating something that's like evergreen content that someone can search and enjoy, hopefully, months, years from now. I have a Dark Souls 2 video that still, like, it was like 2 years ago, and I get comments like every other day on it, which is crazy.
Dude, it's crazy. Yeah, no, for sure. I had a video that I released, I want to say like 5 months ago, and out of nowhere, like, maybe 3 months after I released it, it kind of went like mini viral, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
and you never know what's gonna pop, right? What's that video that's gonna at some point.
For sure. Also, the other thing as well is like if anybody here is a streamer themselves, and I'm sure there are plenty of people in Twitch that do. See, I feel like a lot of the Twitch audience also stream. Like for some reason, I don't know why. It really feels like everyone who watches Twitch streams. But no, genuinely, one really like crazy thing that I found is like you're right about the discoverability. Like it's really difficult to just stream and get an audience, right? So like when you're streaming, like I used to stream 6 times a week, and when you're streaming that much and you're just not really getting anywhere, it just feels like you're putting so much time and effort into something, and it's like, it's so kind of it's just not that
it's really frustrating.
Like for sure. I mean, I guess for me, I always enjoyed it. So it was never like a chore exactly, but it definitely, it definitely felt like it was a disproportionate amount of effort.
To me, I see a link to what we talked about before, like with the Dota and chess games, where it is really fun to just play Dota. But if you want to get better, you gotta focus on a few heroes and analyze games and, learn stuff. And it's the same thing for me for streaming. You gotta take, a day in between or something, and like, think about how the stream went. Think about introducing something slightly new or different in the next one, and see how that works out. Yeah. If you're just streaming every day, it's again the metaphor of just playing chess games over and over and doing the same shit, expecting different results, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's been a real it's been a real journey. I guess I'll put it that way. But yeah, moving on to doing more YouTube stuff is definitely it's definitely been incredibly rewarding.
So what kind of stuff are you doing on YouTube?
Oh man, I think we spoke about last time we had chat. I think I said I'm starting to focus more on YouTube, and now we're kind of in it. But at the time, I remember you asking the same question, and my answer was like, I kind of just do a bit of everything, and we're still very much just doing a bit of everything. Okay. Like I put out a music review recently, an album review. I've done I do reacting to different people's takes on things. I want to start doing film reviews. I do game reviews. I'm sure there's other stuff that I can't remember. Oh yeah, I post debates from stream and stuff like that. I'm working on a video essay at the minute. I'm all over the place, man. I just like making videos about a lot of different topics. It's not the best way to grow, but I find it very fun. So
yeah. Fair. So Blue Hornet has a question for us. I want content for chill people to enjoy with me, high quality before I apply the affiliate button. What do you think I should do? People are telling me just to pull the trigger. What do you mean apply the affiliate button, my dude? Do you mean like
so I
accepting
think what he
the
means is,
affiliate
yeah,
deal?
I think he's got affiliate, like, in terms of average free viewer over the number of followers or whatever. I think he must have affiliate, but has decided he wants to,
Hmm.
I guess, like, improve the content before he actually becomes an affiliate.
I think there are some arguments for not signing the affiliate if you want to see how you do in other platforms. You know, I think when you're starting off, if you have like 2 or 3 people watching, I personally would consider restreaming to YouTube and other places and like see if some other place pops more than Twitch, you know? Experience it. Is the chat in one better than another? See how you feel about it, right? And then make a decision based on that, because when you sign that affiliate agreement, you know, like for example, you and I, we can't stream on YouTube if we wanted to, right? And YouTube is, well, it is doing pretty well in the stream. Like it's grown a lot and you get a lot of viewership as well. So it's something to consider for sure.
Yeah, honestly, if I wasn't an affiliate already, I probably wouldn't take the agreement for that exact reason. At
Hmm.
this point, like when I took the agreement, Twitch was like the only real live platform. Like
Yeah.
YouTube was kind of getting there, but it was really far behind. And Mixer was just like Mixer was about, but it was not doing much. So for me at the time, it made sense to take the affiliate agreement. But yeah, honestly, at this point, I don't know if I would.
I would
would.
wait
I
on
think
it, right? Because you can
yeah.
just wait a month or two and see if it pops in YouTube for you, then maybe you can go down that route.
Yeah.
Keep your options open.
There's also like the thing is there's so many tools as well for your like the people who watch you to support you now that you don't even really need
Yeah,
subs or anything like that. You've got a
true.
ton of different you've got different types of donations and different like I found one recently. It was fucking crazy. It cracked me up. You can There's a thing where you can hook up your stream to your local delivery services and list a bunch of like food from takeaways that people can buy you. And then, yeah, it's just like a
Like
link.
you get a random pizza or something.
Yeah, and people can just buy like pizzas and shit for you if you want. Like you just go through and
Uh-huh.
you put your address in. Your address isn't public or anything like that.
Yeah.
It basically looks like the donation screen from like Streamlabs or
Right,
something,
it's
right?
behind
It's
a
just,
wall, right? You
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Exactly, yeah. But it's just all different takeaway options that you've pre-selected that people can just send to your house. there's loads of stuff like this, you know.
Yeah,
And
it's
I think,
interesting.
yeah, and it's another thing where like it makes the stream more interesting as well. Anyway, like if people can donate like food to you, I think that's kind of cool, and it's gives you something to stand out with, I guess.
Yeah. Jay, what's up? Welcome back. Groskor had many hundreds of dollars of Indian food sent to him.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing. I'm not sure I don't know if I want that, you know? Like just honestly just
Oh, nah, did I, man? Send me all the food. I'm always a hungry boy.
what do I do with it, dude? Like I guess we just put it all in the fridge and we're set for the week or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, could do. As long as I think with all this stuff, it's just what people. It's like managing expectations, right? As
Yeah.
long as people know what you're going to do when you get the food, I think then it's fine, right? I feel like if you haven't made it super clear and someone sends you some food and they're expecting you to try it right there and then and they want your reaction or whatever, and you just put it in the fridge, that's a bit shitty. But like, as long as you're clear, you're like, if you donate some food to me, I'm just going to chuck it in the fridge, but I appreciate it regardless. Like, yeah, it's fine. Or if you want to do a stream where you eat on stream or whatever and try some random dish someone sends to you, it's also like, part of the fun.
Yeah. Vegan meatballs round 2. Never. Crustacean. What's up, man? This question here from A Timeless Soul. One of my goals this year is to start streaming. What advice would you give to first break streamers? Okay, people starting off. Go, Devin.
Just honestly, first things first, just try it on it. Just go live. Have like a vague plan for what you want to do, pick out a game beforehand. But just go live and just try and get a flow of consciousness going. That's honestly the first thing I would say to do, because going live once will give you more information about what to do and what you want to do than researching or asking a million streamers what to do, in my opinion. Just the experience of streaming itself will show you if there's any technical issues you need to worry about, the kind of stuff you come up with on the fly. Maybe you realize you're like a little bit quiet on stream, so maybe it's a good idea to like pre-prepare anecdotes and jokes and stuff. Like, just going live will give you so much experience. It's actually unreal. So in my opinion, the best thing you can do is just go live. Don't worry about having people there to watch you or anything. Just go live and see what happens.
100%. I think, dude, we're like simpatico, because that's the big thing I see, like option paralysis and research paralysis. People like going, sure. Oh, you know, just watching all the alpha dog, no, not alpha dog. Oh, what is it? Alpha gaming videos. Oh, dude, you know, I need the best camera. No, you don't. Right?
No, when I started, I had a really shitty like £15 like headphone gamer mic combo, but it wasn't even like big over the head with a cool mic. It was like this strangly little bit of plastic with two like fuzzy pads as like the over ears, and the mic was like just this horrible little like nub on the end of this really thin wire. It was
the
shit.
Single most important thing is for you to figure out whether or not you want to do it going forward. Because you don't know until you try it.
Yeah, 100%. If you gotta just do it and see if you enjoy it.
It may seem fun when you watch someone, but like being you there, and you know, you feeling like there's that dead air and you don't know what to do. You know, you have to put yourself in that situation and see how you do. And it takes a while, man. But I would just say, like, get started. You know, get the basic shit. Nowadays, you can stream with your phone. You can hook up your phone as a camera. There's like the barrier of entry is small in the sense that you need very little to get started. It's very high in the sense that, you know, if you want to like outperform people who are already in the game, sure, it will take you a lot of time, resources, and effort to get all the technical stuff, but that stuff can get better over time, right?
Yeah.
What matters the most is how you engage with people, and that only practice will give. So yeah, just get started, man. And, you know...
I'll tell you one bit of advice that I will say that is good for someone who's just starting. Let's assume you've gotten past the point where you've gone live, you've worked out all the technical stuff, you know how to go live, and that's where you're at, right? Biggest advice I can give you is, especially when you're starting, just unless you really want to play a certain game, don't play an oversaturated game. Play a game that has relatively low viewership so that your stream will actually get some traffic to it. Because at the end of the day, you'll only become a good streamer once people start coming in and you start bantering with people and seeing how you work with people in chat, right? So that's a large part of what live performing is, right?
Yeah.
And that will happen a million times quicker if you pick some indie game that has 100 viewers in the entire category versus playing like, I don't know what's like super popular, and playing like even like chess or something, right?
There's an extra
10,000 people watching, but 100,000 streams or whatever, right?
There's an extra piece that connects to that, which is breaking the inertia of the zero viewers. Because when you start off, if you literally have like 0 viewers, that's really rough, because then you're at the bottom of the barrel and people see very little reason to jump into your stream, right?
So I don't know how.
Let me just finish my point, and then you can give me your take, right?
Sorry.
So what I say always is like, have some, or start working on having some presence elsewhere, whether that means Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, whatever it is. If you can get one person from Twitter to check out your stream, that's another viewer, you know, that has a chance of enjoying your shit. So I don't like the idea of people relying only on the trickle in of new people from the Twitch browse page, because that's very slow and it's going to take a long time to go to get there with, you know, 0 viewers starting off. So I always like, you know, try to start off with a few people who know who you are. You're on their radar at least. But go on, you had another point.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, so like I actually do agree with that. Definitely, it's definitely a good idea. Like once you actually want to start getting people in for sure. Definitely use other avenues, because Twitch isn't good for growth. But what I was gonna say is, one thing I noticed. So I don't know if maybe this isn't a thing anymore. I don't know. But when I started streaming, one thing that was interesting is people actually occasionally checked out my stream because I was a 0 viewer stream. They looked specifically for people with no viewers, and they just came in and like chatted to you. So the only like. But that can only happen, going back to what I was saying, if you play a game that has like not many people in the overall category. So I think when you're starting, it is a good idea to play games that are totally unsaturated, because if even one of those people comes through in your first, like, I don't know, 3-4 streams or whatever, that's one person that you can essentially practice your performance and flow of conversation on. And you do that before you get too many people in, and, you know, yeah. Yeah. When you basically you'll be more practiced for when there's more people is the idea.
Yeah, I agree. I think you have to combine those two strategies.
Yeah,
honestly,
sure, yeah.
Don't rely only on Twitch for discoverability. Do stuff elsewhere, and understand that it's it's a long haul. It takes a long time to see it all come to fruition.
It really does. Yeah.
A lot of it is your personal journey of becoming the person you want to be on stream, like on screen, I guess. Yeah. And that's like being comfortable, right? And it's just like personal work, a lot of it as well. Groovy Beard, thanks for the 3 months, man. Welcome back. The other thing too, guys, is like, what do you bring to the table, right? Put a critical eye on yourself and go like, on one hand, recognize the talents you have and the unique things you bring. Like maybe you're funny. Maybe you've done a course in charisma and you have good body language. I don't know, whatever it is, right? Make sure you understand what those things are and then bring them to bear. Lean into those things, right? Whatever you think makes you unique, even if maybe you think it makes you unique in a bad way. Like, maybe you have like fucking weird hair or a shaved head like me, right? Whatever it is, like lean into the weirdness, into the uniqueness, because I think a lot of the time that's what makes it pop and makes it authentic.
Yeah, that's the most important thing for growth as far as I'm concerned. And it's something I'm still working out, and I'm sure lots of people are as well. But there's a concept in marketing called a USP, which just means unique selling point. And all that states is you should just lean into whatever makes you unique. Yeah, if you can think of one thing you do that not many people or no one else is doing on Twitch, that immediately gives your stream some level of base appeal. And it's honestly like just go look into like USP market and shit is 100% a really good way to
for sure. And everybody has something, right? I talk about this a lot, the idea that you're likely not the best at one single thing, but because you're good at many different things, that makes you perhaps the best person for one particular thing, in the sense that, those unique properties make you uniquely suited for one kind of content. So try to nail down what that is, and try to like just whatever is like personal development, like I said, whether it's charisma or like being able to tell a story in a compelling way. Small things like that will add up a lot. So like work on yourself in that sense too.
One interesting thing as well with the whole USP thing is it doesn't actually even necessarily need to be unique as such. It just, you need to say you and someone else both have the same unique selling point. If you actually realize you have that selling point and can say, hey, I do this on stream and they don't, it doesn't matter that your unique selling point isn't unique because you're good at identifying it. If someone else isn't, you're naturally just going to draw more people in as a result of it. So it's just like having a clear vision, I think, is such a big benefit.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, but just get started, dude, and let us know how it goes. Maybe join my Discord if you want my input on things. I'm always happy to also help out. And hello, ODM, coming in there. But dude, we're now coming up on the hour, so I'm cognizant of your time. Thanks for doing this. And did you have anything you want to pimp out on your channel that you're doing this week? Are we doing DS3? What's on the menu this week?
Yeah, no, it's just so I'm actually going live at 6 o'clock, so another 2.5 hours, and we're going to be playing some Dota very, very poorly.
Oh, nice.
Then next week, it's just Dark Souls 3 Cinders mod. I get one thing I've introduced that's been going really well recently is the last Friday of every month we do a community stream. We get a bunch of people on. We all play Rocket League together, or Among Us, or Jackbox, or whatever. Right, it just depends on who's available. So that's kind of it at the minute, really. I would say honestly, the thing I want to pimp up most is probably my YouTube channel. I'm putting more effort into that than anything else at the minute. If you're interested in album reviews, if you're interested in just conversations and debates about a variety of topics and also game reviews, then definitely head over there. It's just if you search in YouTube DevinReviews, it will pop up. I try and put a decent amount of effort into my videos. I'm going to try and put more and more as we go. I'm currently actually working on a pretty large Cyberpunk review, so hopefully that'll be
awesome.
That'll be cool.
Awesome.
But yeah.
Cool, man. And people can check you out through that link. Also, if you're listening in the podcast form, you can check out the show notes for the link too. So, dude, thanks for being on today, and I hope to play some Dota games with you soon, dude.
Yeah, for sure, man. We'll have to sort that out for sure, yeah.
Awesome. All right, take care, Devin. Peace out.
All right, peace out. Yep, see you later. Thanks for inviting me on.
Bye-bye.